I ain't afraid to admit it. I was not ready. I was not ready for this Mr. Freeze. Not at all. You're not ready unless you either read this book already or you watched somebody else's video. Other than that, if you didn't, you're not ready. Support the comic book industry by visiting your local LCS. My name is Dorian. This is SEM Comics. We'll continue our coverage of Absolute Batman with number 7. Our story starts off in Tanzania, where you have Victor, and he's with his dad. And I'm assuming they're microbiologists. They study like different like microorganisms. So I'm guessing. Anyway, his dad is telling him that as much life that is in the rainforest, there's even more in a glacier, and that's where they're headed. But Victor, he doesn't look so hot. Not with those bloodshot red eyes. Then we cut to present day Gotham City, where you have Bruce's crew and they're meeting in the alley. I like how Edward got a nice little question mark gold chain on, and they light up a match for their childhood friend, Marcos Malone. Now, in normal continuity, Marcos Malone was a criminal that I don't know what happened to him. All I know is that was Batman's go-to alias anytime he wanted to like infiltrate the underworld. He was Marcos Malone. In this universe, he was a childhood friend. Now, the reason why they called him matches is because there was a game where everybody got a match and they put a matchbook on the ground, and whoever can hit the matchbook with their match would be able to choose whoever kid had to do whatever kind of dare. Well, matches won like 90% of the time. And the reason why they called him crazy is because instead of picking somebody else to do it, he would just pick himself and then he would do it. So then they're like, who was the last person to see Matches alive? And then Bruce shows up and is like, that was me. So now we cut to 1 week ago. Bruce is walking on a bridge and you see that his left arm is in a cast. Now, if you've been paying attention to these books, then you know that Bruce went through so much stuff, it probably would have killed any other normal person. And the only thing that's wrong with this dude is he has his left arm in the cast. Like JR would say, tougher than a $2 steak. So because of what happened to the city, it looks like the new mayor, Mayor Hill, they reelected him again, pretty much put the city under martial law. And Alfred, who's been taking care of Bruce, had to go out of town. We left him strict instructions to take it easy and not be Batman. But Bruce can't help himself. He has to find out what the hell's going on at this Ark M construction site. Now he goes to Matches because Matches does fake IDs, but he does really good fake IDs. The problem is that, like we said, Matches likes to do stuff himself. So if Bruce is trying to figure out a way to get into the Ark M site, guess what Matches did? He went into the Ark M site. So as they're meeting, he tells Bruce that it was really difficult to get these IDs, but he got the IDs and the paperwork for him. He also tells Bruce that, like you just said, he kind of went into the Ark M site to see what's going on. And Bruce is pissed at him. He's like, look, dude, this is not a game. So Bruce is like, dude, you don't look so good. And Matches is trying to play it off like, no, dude, I'm fine. I'm okay. And then on the next page, we see he is not okay. All these little open wounds just open up all over his face. I'm assuming all over his body. Like there's blood coming out of his ears. And he just falls over. Like literally looks like death of 1,000 cuts. Like this dude is done. Like Bruce doesn't even stop and like check for a pulse because there's no point, because Matches is dead. Dead. So Bruce is like, it was some kind of biological weapon. I'm sure of it. I got Matches' phone and I'm trying to search through it now, but I'm gonna find out who and what killed Matches. And then Croc's like, that's great. We need to talk about this whole Batman thing. But then we cut to Bruce as Batman. Like he still even has a cast on. Now, like I said, there's martial law. So now they got all these different like police balloons up patrolling the area. Feels like he's doing a good job of avoiding them, but he's not as stealthy as like the main universe Batman, because that Batman has years of experience. And they see him and they deploy these drones at him. Now, while he's trying to avoid these drones, Alfred is also talking to him. So all this loud stuff is going on. And Alfred's like, what's that? Bruce is like, it's the radio. Alfred's like, oh, it's the radio, huh? Gotcha. Hey, by the way, before I get off this call, I know you don't have a radio and I know you're Alice Batman. Just let you know, I know. as Bruce at the same time is taking out these drones. Now the police on the ground is also after him too. He picks up one cop with his cape, throws it into another cop, and then eventually he gets away. So then we cut back to Bruce and his friends, and they're like, were you just using us to be Batman? Like Croc's like, I trained you. So then Harvey's like, you were a clerk with me. Penguin's like, you slummed with me. And Edward's like, you studied with me. And they're like, all this to be Batman? So then Bruce is like, enough. Like, look what happened to Matches. And then Penguin's like, dude, you saw how you lived. Like, you knew eventually this was going to happen. So you can't use him as an excuse. So Bruce is finally like, look, you guys need to get out of my way and I need to get back to work. So then we see Bruce walk into VCore. VCore is one of the companies that is contracted to work on the Ark M site. Now, it was also one of the places, I guess, Marcos Malone was last seen. And for some reason, they're using a lot of power and Bruce wants to find out why. Now, there are a lot of security cameras, but there's nobody at the front desk. So Bruce walks around and he's looking at pictures of a glacier. He sees like a woolly mammoth in ice. He sees like a saber-toothed tiger in ice. And he also sees like a beetle in ice. But all of a sudden somebody goes, oh, how you doing? Then here you come in. And it looks like the young kid that was at the beginning of the book. So Bruce explains that he's from the city and he's here to inspect why they're using so much power. So he says, well, I am the director of VCore. And you are? And he's like, Pennyworth. Oh, I was thinking to myself, why he use Alfred's last name? Like, come on, man. So then Bruce hands him his ID, and then Bruce says to himself, like, he barely looked at it, like, almost like he didn't really give a damn. So he goes, take a look around. Even though it's a midnight tour, there's a lot of fascinating specimens. Now, it's either Dr. Fries, Dr. Fries, or Dr. Freeze. However you pronounce it. Somebody's going to tell me in the comments exactly how it's pronounced, like you guys always do. I'm just going to say Dr. Freeze and his wife collected a lot of things. So then Bruce is like, hold on, time out, they still oversee things? Victor and Nora? And then the guy goes, you can say that. And then he hits a button. And we see Victor and Nora, and they looked horrible. And then we find out that he's their son, Victor Jr. So then Victor Jr. is like, they're being preserved. And then Batman's like, why are they being preserved? Actually, what the hell do you guys do here at VCore? So now Victor Jr. explains how his parents discovered that the dying can be frozen and preserved until a cure is found for whatever they might be dying from. Now, what are they dying from? I'm thinking it's old age, so they're just preserving themselves until somebody figures out a way to live forever. So then Bruce is like, has anybody ever been revived from the ice? So then Victor's like, yeah, me. He explains how when he was a kid, he was diagnosed with a rare terminal disorder. Now, his parents knew that eventually there'll be a cure for it. They just didn't know how long it would take. So they put him in ice until there was a cure. Once the cure was developed, they revived him and let him out. So then Bruce is like, well, I guess it saved you. And Victor Jr. is like, yes. Still, they told me it wouldn't hurt. When I woke up, the world would be a better place. Then his hand starts turning black, and he's like, but the ice wasn't what they thought. He's like, I felt everything, every moment, and the pain. My God, the ice grinds and twists. The ice isn't grace. The ice is a reckoning. The ice bursts monsters, Mr. Pennyworth, just like me. And I was like, holy crap. That is a new spin on Mr. Freeze that I was not ready for. Not ready whatsoever. And he grabs Bruce by that black hand, and I don't want to even assume what the hell's about to happen, but it ain't good.